Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I haven't got a bingo. I've got a scoring tile in the K. And I have a choice. I can play a Korai, keeping A, E, or I can play Okia, keeping just one vowel, but scoring less. And I'm inclined to leave just the one vowel. So Okia 22, Korai 28. So I'm sacrificing 6 points. Okay, I've just changed my mind. So Korai 28. And part of the reason for the mind change is that the two vowels I'm keeping are the two best vowels. Well, not a great pickup. All 1-pointers and some duplicates and 5 vowels, so not many bingos here, if any. So I'm just looking at the consonants on the board, just K and R at the moment. I can't see a bingo through either of those, but I should be able to sort this rack out. I could play Anoa, keeping EIN, which would be okay. Only 7 points for my opponent. The K is the only scoring tile on the board, so I'm wondering if I can score using that. Well, I could play Ane in row I, which is quite nice, doesn't give much away. 16 points. Can't see anywhere great for Anoa. If I stick the A out above this triple letter square, it's giving a scoring opportunity for my opponent, whereas Ane doesn't. I guess the only possibility would be Ox and Rex. And this rack leave isn't great. A and O don't go well together. I don't think I can avoid a vowel-heavy rack leave. I'm going with this. Well, not too bad. This looks closer to a bingo. It's good to have 4 vowels rather than 5. No 7-letter bingos here. There could well be an 8. But not many floaters, just the D of die. And I can't see a bingo through that. 3 2-letter sets. But anything is going to be fairly low probability with these 2 O's on my rack. And I can't see anything. I do have the P for score. I could play op and rep. Well, I could. I can't now. Core takes a Y as well as DR and S. So I'm still looking in row J. I could place my R under core. So POR not good. It could also end ER, and PER is good. I'm reluctant to retain two O's. Let me see what just OR looks like. 16 points. I don't think that's good enough. So, what about APA? 31 points. Anything over 30 is starting to look attractive. The N has some synergy with the O's. I didn't want to keep 2 O's. But I'm not sure there's much I can do about that. I was just wondering about playing Painter across here. Not good. APA would take a number of consonants in front of it, so there could be a really high score in column 2. But if my opponent doesn't have that, the board is quite tight. I'm going with this. Pretty horrendous. The O's look less of a bad keep now, having drawn only consonants. I've got thou on my rack. I note that Cora takes an S in front. So row E, yep. Nice bingo for my opponent, 72 points. Goes into a 19-point lead. And annoyingly, with all these high-scoring tiles, I can't see something in column 8 which places one of them above the E. I've got woven. That's not going to score very much. None of my consonants goes in front of aper. I can't see anywhere for thou. I could play woo, but retaining 2 of these doesn't feel great. Now, do I really have nothing in column 8? Well, I don't think so. And annoyingly, my O doesn't go in front of the T because row D is quite hot. So, what about playing here to stop my opponent playing in column 8? And the rack leave, well, it's not too awful, and 15 points, and this rack leave is certainly better than changing. I'm still behind, and I have a very non-bingo-y rack with a lot of heavy tiles. I'm keeping an eye on this front hook for aper. Maybe I should run through what can play there. A C, and there's still one out there. A G, J, P, R, T. Okay, so P, J, and C are the high-scoring tiles. I don't have any of those. Now I do have a vowel for going in front of the A. So I could play blah, keeping NOV. That's quite nice. Great, and that stays available. Now my opponent has provided an opportunity in column 6 for my H to play HO. Sorry, H. AH. But I want to play off more tiles than that. So let me see what blah looks like. That's 27 points, which is good. And a nice rack leave may help. I could have, having kept the N, or if I keep the N, I could have a nice play in column A, a non-bingo, ending ING if I draw an I. And blah's not particularly dangerous. It's not placing any vowels next to premium squares. Pretty horrendous. I have got Evo on my rack. V does go in front of AW, but I can't see a decent play in column 6. Evo plays off both E's and only one O, so not as good as a play which plays off 2 O's. Although I don't have to play the V, it is my only scoring tile. Evo plays in row D at the moment. That will place an E above this double word square, and in any event an E is a useful floater. That's been blocked. 18 points for my opponent, who now has a 15-point lead. So, what to do? Now, is there anything in row K? Kip takes an E underneath it, but I can't see anything. Testern takes an S after it. Should I ever draw one? Now, what can I do here? I could play Evo and DE. That just doesn't feel better than changing. And I'm starting to think that I should change with this rack. I'm only 16 points behind. I think I'm going to struggle to sort the rack out. It's always a bit of a wrench to change and score absolutely nothing. So, why don't I not change and play though for 17 points? I think this is slightly better than changing, and I've got an E for going in front of though. And since I'm behind, keeping the board open is a good thing. Now, I could play Evo in this spot. Would that be better? It scores one more point, it sorts out the vowel consonant balance. And one other good thing about it is that although I am opening up the triple word square, that's far less dangerous than it might be, since the double letter square at D1 is not available for a high scoring tile. So I think I will go with this. And I'm glad I did, because this is a much more acceptable vowel consonant balance. I could have ended up with one of these consonants being a vowel. I don't have an I for an ing word in row A, and I don't have a bingo. But I've got the W for score, and that should help me get rid of these O's. If I simply played WOO, my rack leave would be quite nice. I've still got an E for going after Kip. One takes an R and an S after it. I don't have either of those. Still 3 S's and 2 blanks to come. Okay, my opponent's done pretty well out of that E. But in any event, they had an E, so could have hooked Evo for even more points. Could have hooked Vo for even more points, rather. So where can I play my W? Well, I could play OR here for 39 points. A decent score, decent vowel consonant balance. And although I wanted to get rid of one of the O's, if I'm retaining no other vowels, then the duplicate O is less poor. GN has some synergy. So I'm going with this. Not great. I do, however, draw an S. And the test turn hook is available. This looks close to a bingo. I would have sino log through an L and an E. Not surprisingly, that's not available. Great, only 22 points for my opponent, and they've taken out the dangerous Aper front hook. And opened up column 1. So, do I have a play in column 1 which sorts the rack out? I'd like to play off an O and a U. 10 minutes on my clock, 33 tiles in the bag. So do I have any 4 or 5 letter plays using an O and a U? I'm not sure I do. I could just play OU, stopping my opponent from playing in column 1. And the rack leave of GINOS is fairly synergetic, and it's a decent 5-letter rack leave. It is missing an E, and there's only 2 E's to come, but I'm retaining ING, and there is an opportunity for an ING word in column 11. I've got an S for hooking test turn and for hooking scorer and gem. Now the downside of OU is its dismal score. However, I'm behind, so I want to maximise my chances of bingoing. Now I do only have 1 and 2 point tiles on my rack, so I'm looking at the high scoring tiles on the board. My U could go after the X. Well, I can't see anything great there. I could play OU to the right of M, but for fewer points. Well, am I going for this? Am I missing something a lot better? Is this another UGH moment? No, I'm going with this. And I'm going to draw really well. Well, have I? Is this well enough? If it's not, if I don't have a bingo here, I do at least have a Y for score. I'm quite vulnerable. I'm only 10 points behind, but if my opponent bingos now, I don't think I have a comeback bingo. And the rack isn't that great. Not many floaters to consider. Only 21 points for my opponent. That's good. Now, what about soiling? Pretty sure soiling's good, and I think it's new. This is going to be a massive score. 113 big ones. Fantastic. Soiling. Let's see if that's challenged. It may come off, but I can just see in my mind the D with the plus next to it after soil. Yep, challenged. It's good. Superb. And I take an 80-point lead. Fantastic. That one nearly slipped me by. I haven't drawn well. I don't care. I'm ahead, and I've got the F for score. So, 45 for my opponent. I was hoping they might get a lot less than that. However, that does enable me to sort my rack out. I can play Zoofoli down here for 38 points, which pretty much extinguishes the 45 scored by my opponent. And the rack leave is good, and I'm burning tiles, which I want to do because I want to expedite the end of the game, and I want to increase my chances of drawing one or both of these blanks. Which I don't do, but I do have disjoint in column 15, should that S remain available. And if it is taken out, at least I've got the J for score. Agony of agonies. Opponent does take the S out with a bingo. I'm now only 6 points ahead, so not looking so good. 6 tiles in the bag, including a blank, but look at the vowel situation. Just an I and a U. Wow, this is a really unbalanced, unseen tile situation. So I don't want to be too cavalier in playing off tiles. I certainly wouldn't want to pick up 5 or 6 of this heap of crap. So how can I play off just a few tiles but score well? Joe is standing out, and I'm not too bothered about the duplicate I, given how few vowels there are. Every vowel is useful. 26 points for Joe. Is there a better J spot? I could just play Jag for 11. These vowels are super valuable. However, the O isn't worth 15 points. The E could be useful for my opponent, so it's quite nice to take it out. Great comeback by my opponent with lazes and saunters. I thought I very much had the whip hand after soiling. Game's looking a lot different now. Now I'm just contemplating whether there are any 5-letter plays beginning OU. This is quite a critical moment in the game. 6 minutes on my clock. What is the best thing to do? And I think it is to play off the J. So, Joe for 26. Fantastic. I draw the blank. I wasn't expecting that. And I've got a scoring tile in the F. That is pretty handy. So, do I have a bingo straight away? Nice score by my opponent, 20 points. Burns the U and the Y, though, and emptied the bag. I can see what my opponent's got. It's horrendous. Maybe not such a nice play by my opponent, burning the U when there's a Q unplayed. So my opponent can play Chi with the eyes of Soiling and Zufoli, so I can't stop the play of the cue, but it's not going to score very much. In both places, Chi can be played, but that's going to burn the last I and leave 5 consonants and only score about 20 to 30 points. I'm 15 ahead. I should be able to plan an out in 2 with this rack. I've got 5 minutes on my clock. It's possible I have a bingo. Row O is pretty good for bingos ending in S. I would have Intifada onto or through an A, none available. So I've got time. I'm going to look through the alphabet and see if I can see anything. And really it's just the S floater that is useful. That's my Intifada rack. Can't see anything there. And it is the vowels which are going to be more likely. Although I'd have drifting through an R. Still not seeing anything. I would have drift pin through a P. In drift's not good. Okay, so I can't see anything. My F can go in front of the Y. Well, I think this works. I can play just drift here. I'm surely going out next turn with blank IN. Drift scores 18 points on top of the 12-point lead I already have, so I'll have a 30-point lead and a guaranteed out. Unless I've overlooked a massive spot for my opponent, I think this is going to be good enough. 3 minutes on the clock is good enough, the best I can do. I could play Frit, keeping Din. 22 points, 4 more points. Well, there's all sorts of possibilities here, but I think I will play this. How much better an alternative play would be, I don't know. But the priority is always to win the game, and that did look in the balance when my opponent played Saunders. So 28 for my opponent. I lead by 2. I am definitely going out, and I can play Sing. And this 3-letter rack leave is a lot more flexible than a 4-letter rack leave, and that's just by reference to the Frit possibility. So I've got Sing for 16. Where can I score a lot more? I'm not sure if Zofoli takes an S. I don't think it does. Do I have anything across the top? Nope, I don't think so. 2 minutes on my clock. Do I have anything through B and V? No, I don't. Have I overlooked anywhere? Super hot. Front S hook for Joe, no longer available. No, I'm going with this. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which they do. And, okay, and the final score, 377 to my opponent, 413 to me, a winning margin of 36 points. So, pretty close game, pretty exciting game. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first, and I considered Korai and Okia, and I think Korai is better. Opponent's rack plays Day. I have a ton of vowels. Quite a lot of possibilities here, not all of which I considered. I played A-N-A, keeping A-N-O. And there's not a huge difference between these plays. That is immediately obvious, so I'm happy with that, and this certainly gives very little away. Nice rack for my opponent. Let's see if they have a bingo. They don't. Plays core. My rack, and I play Aper for 31. I didn't like it, but nothing obviously better. Super play by my opponent, 72 points, and I'm in a sticky spot here. I'm 20 points behind with a horrendous rack, which isn't quite bad enough to change. J2. Vapor. Gosh, Vapor. Yep, certainly the play. 35 points, splits up the duplicate V, takes out a hotspot. So, well done if you spotted that. What did I do? I played Woven for 15. Yeah, significantly inferior. Now, nice rack for my opponent. Plays, well, not a bingo, plays Gam for 21. Now, yeah, the Vapor spot still available. Fortunately, I didn't miss a 5-letter play with that V, otherwise I would have been really expensive. Instead, I played Blah for 27, which only 5 points less than the vol play, so missing that front hook, not particularly expensive on this move. My opponent's rack. Gosh, look at that, mobilised. C7. Well, always hard to spot a 9, but nice to see them. Or nice to see that they are available and could have been played. My opponent plays blind. My rack is awful, and I'm still behind by about 20. I don't play Vo at J2. I play Evo at F1. And again, I think in this instance, the J2 spot certainly is significantly better because it scores so much more. My opponent plays Dexy, and now my rack starts to improve, and I'm glad that I can score 39 points with this. Opponent has the blank. No bingo, I'm surprised. Has meshing on the rack, doesn't play. Plays gem. And this was quite a tricky spot. I'm 20 points behind. I play OU here, keeping an okay rack lead, but it's a strange rack lead, not having an E, and really quite dependent on pulling an ING bingo from the bag. However, it's 5 good tiles, so it did have merit. What I passed up was Goons, A11. For 36 points and a very bad rack leave. Probably not very much between those plays. What am I doing? Yeah, I play OU. My opponent has Saz Hens for an absolutely monster score, 141. Fortunately, didn't see that. Played R. And now I have Soiling for 113, and that was the only bingo, although it was playable elsewhere as well. Now my opponent has a Xenas. Anywhere for that? Nope. Plays Lasers. That gives me Zafoli, which I played fairly quickly. I was feeling mildly euphoric after Soiling, so slightly tilty. Played Zufoli quickly, but it looks fine. Fabulous rack for my opponent, and they're only 80 behind. And this is when the game changes. I thought I had established a good lead, and it has evaporated. I'm 6 points ahead, but the bag is in my favour because there are so few vowels, and I'm sitting with 3. So David burns 2 of my vowels. I don't like that. And it retains the J, which benefits from vowels. So I still like the Joe play for the same score as Bovid and a better rack leave. Not a nice rack for my opponent. This is when they play Bury, and although I commented on the failure to keep the U when the Q was unseen, actually, I think Bury looks a reasonable play. This is not a good rack. Now I have the blank, so did I miss a bingo? No, I didn't. And I played Drift for 18, and I think that looks fine. Blank IN is a super flexible final rack to have. All of the racks above it are problematic. So my opponent plays Chi, that looks best, and well, Sing wasn't best. Sing for 16. There was one better play, which was Bavin through the B and the V. Well, I considered that spot and didn't see Bavin. So well done if you did. That would have been 6 more points. So pretty exciting game. I think the bag came to my rescue in the end after my opponent had caught up following my mid-game lead with soiling. So all round a pretty exciting game. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.